How y'all are? I'm glad for you to see me. I can't road T. It's me, Simon Smith, and I am back with another review. Today's review is the Great American Bash 2004. Opening contest is a fatal four-way elimination match for the U.S. Championship. This was right around the time where I stopped watching wrestling for a while just because I thought it was beginning to get stupid, and I just wasn't enjoying it. Which I feel basically the same way today. Looking back at this event, I didn't care for it. I didn't like any of the storylines. Most of the matches were just blah. I can't. I couldn't wait for it to get over with for the most part. In the opening match, it's John Cena, Rob Van Dam, Rene Dupree, and uh, Booker T. Cena first elimination was RPD, which John Cena got that. Cena goes in as champion in this. Booker T eliminates Rene Dupree. I keep wanting to say Renee Young. And I don't know why I keep thinking of John Moxley's wife. Uh, then, of course, John Cena defeats Booker T. Then we have a Charlie Haas, John Cena coming backstage up the ring, and he just bumps into him at a Kurt Angle segment where he basically talks down to Charlie Haas. This is during the time where Kurt Angle was the general manager of SmackDown and was in the wheelchair. And he tells Charlie Haas he has a match up next against Luther Reigns. Uh, no relation to Roman Reigns. Uh, Not much of a match here. Of course, Luther ends up winning because who would you expect? Kurt Angle's buddy or Charlie Haas to win? I'd say Kurt Angle's buddy. We have the JBL segment up next, just talking about the bull rope match and how it's JBL's match and uh would it also be Eddie Guerrero's match because he was also from Texas. So that didn't make sense to me. I'm like, both of you are from Texas, so it's both of your match. Uh, Next up is the cruiserweight match: Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. They worked on Rey's knee for the most part of this match. Not a lot of high flying, but still a good match. Rey Mysterio comes up with a victory here. Uh, Next up is Billy Gunn versus Kenzo Suzuki. Uh, Kenzo Suzuki is a well-known wrestler. He ends up coming up with a victory, but it wasn't that good of a match. I thought it just like a time filler. Like, you guys don't have a storyline, and we need X amount of minutes for to go out and do something. Nobody cares. Then we have the Heyman Bear segment where Heyman's uh, bad, telling Paul Bear he's got to fill the crypt up with concrete because in the main event, if Undertaker doesn't lay down for the Dudley Boys, Heyman's gonna fill a crypt with Paul Bear and full concrete. Next up is Torrie Wilson versus No Talent Sable. But somehow Sable comes up with the victory. I know she was red hot back then and really, really attractive, but she had no wrestling skill whatsoever. Nor could she really talk. All she was eye candy. That was it. Next up is interview with Rene Dupree about how he feels about losing. Next up is Mordecai versus Hardcore Holly. Another God, this is a boring match. Mordecai ends up winning. I didn't even know Mordecai was a thing in WWF. You know, I've heard of Mordecai. I just didn't know it was like a WWF thing. just a stupid gimmick. So I guess it should have made sense to me. Next up is uh, the WWF Championship match, the Texas Bull Rope match, Eddie Guerrero versus JBL. This is a month after uh, their their encounter where Eddie Guerrero just bleeds buckets. This time it was actually Eddie Guerrero who got the uh, blood on JBL. At one point, JBL was even choking Guerrero when he's tied up in the turnbuckle. Uh, at the end of the match, both of them touched three quarters, and then Eddie, JBL is in the last quarter. Guerrero jumps and tries touches it. And initially, the ref rolls into Eddie Guerrero. Angle comes out and says, it doesn't specify what part of the body has to hit. JBL's body hit the turnbuckle before your hand did, so he technically won. So they reverse the decision and give the championship to JBL. In the main event of the evening, it's the Dudley Boys versus The Undertaker. If The Undertaker doesn't lay down, Paul Bearer gets encrypted in concrete. Of course, they tease like The Undertaker's going to um, lay down, but he eventually does it and wins the match. But Heyman doesn't get to build the concrete tube all the way. Basically, it's almost up to his chest area. Undertaker ends up pulling the uh, handle down, saying "Rest in peace," to pay tribute to Paul Bearer. That is it for this pay per view. Until next time, please make sure you spread peace and love. I love you all.